Good morning, everybody. So, I am Dr. Selvamani from the Department of Civil Engineering, and I am the Senior Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, PSN College of Engineering and Technology. Today, I am going to take a subject for the 7th semester, namely the design of RC elements and brick masonry. It is one of a very important subject and needful subject for the civil engineering fraternity. So the name of this subject is nothing but design of RC elements and brick masonry. So in the previous semesters, you have studied about the normal and conventional RC elements like your beams and slabs, columns, foundation, footings, etc., etc. But in this semester, you are going to study especially about the important structures and structural elements like your retaining wall and water tanks, about that is underground water tank and overhead water tank also, and the design of staircase, design of flat slab, and design of brick masonry. Likewise, you are going to study in this subject. The name of this subject is nothing but design of RC elements and brick masonry. Today I am going to give some lecture about the retaining walls. Retaining walls. Retaining walls. Okay. So what is meant by retaining wall? The name itself you can able to understand a wall which is retaining something, nothing but some material is nothing but retaining walls. The main type of retained material is earth. So the retaining walls are used to retain the earth or other loose materials. So these walls are commonly used for constructed in the following area. Number one, in the construction of building basements, and number two, as wing walls or abutment in the bridge areas, and number three, in the case of construction of embankments. So these are the three types of the retaining walls needed, the structures. The material which is retained by the retaining wall is nothing but the backfill. So just like this, now this is a retaining wall. Okay, this is a cross section of the retaining wall, and here the face is vertical and here the face is inclined. Now you are going to fill the material this side. Okay, now this side you are going to fill the material. So this material or loose material or earth is retained by this wall. The wall may be constructed by masonry or concrete or timber or steel, whatever it may be. And this is nothing but foundation for that retaining wall. Okay. And so what are the different types of retaining walls? And there are 4 types of retaining walls are there. First one is gravity retaining wall. Number 1, types of the retaining wall. Gravity retaining walls. Gravity retaining walls. Number 2, cantilever retaining wall. Cantilever retaining walls. Number 3, counterfort retaining wall. Counterfort retaining walls. Number 4, buttress retaining wall. Buttress retaining walls. Okay. So these are the main type of retaining walls. Okay. And where these type of walls are used, just you can know about these things. A gravity retaining wall is that retaining wall in which the weight of the retaining wall provides the stability against the pressure exerted by the backfill. So now this is your retaining wall. Okay, one side batter and another side vertical, and the foundation is also there. And now this is the back, sorry, now this is the, okay, yes, now this is the backfill, that is the earth retained by the wall, right? Now this is the gravity retaining wall. So because of the earth retained in one side of the wall, some of the forces will be produced or exerted. Some pressure will be exerted on the face of the wall, and the pressure will tend to move the wall, otherwise turn the wall. Thereby the wall will be fell down. Ultimately it will get failure. Okay, so how it will be stand clearly, that is important. Because of this earth, now this is the weight of the wall. So the weight of the wall is acting towards downwards, and let it be W. Okay, now this is the weight, and this is the pressure due to the backfill or earth retained by the wall. So you can able to understand clearly that the weight of the wall should be more than that of the pressure, then it will be stable. So in this type of gravity retaining wall, the retaining wall itself, it is stable because of their self weight W. Self weight W. This weight is more than that of the pressure. If the weight is more, the pressure is less, means the the wall will be stable. So a wall which is stable only because of the self weight or its own weight is nothing but gravity retaining wall. So that is nothing but the wall is stable because of this gravitational force. Okay. Next, the second type of retaining wall, nothing but cantilever retaining wall. Now the cantilever retaining wall, like this. Okay, now this is the sloping portion. Generally, the cantilever retaining wall is made up of reinforced cement concrete. Reinforced cement concrete. And some rod will be provided here, and here also rod will be provided, and here also rod will be provided, like that. And the transverse reinforcement is also provided in the wall, like this. Okay, and this is the transverse reinforcement. Now the shape of the retaining wall is like that, the cantilever. Now this is a slab like that, the continuous slab, and the one side of the slab is fixed at the base, and the other side here is the free. So all of you know, if a beam or slab is having one side fixed and the another side free, is nothing but the cantilever. Likewise, this wall is in the case of cantilever slab or beam like that, cantilever slab, because it is a continuous one. Okay, like that, it is going on continuously, like this. Now this is the cantilever retaining wall. So in general, the cantilever retaining wall is made up of reinforcement concrete provided by reinforcement to take up the tensile stresses. Here the earth fill is there. And why we are giving the thickness in various position, various thickness. Here the thickness is somewhat less, and here the thickness is more. And you see, suppose if we draw the diagram of the pressure diagram, the pressure diagram is like this. Here the pressure is maximum, and here the pressure is minimum, and that is equal to 0. Now this is the height of the earth. Okay. Now this is the height of the earth. Now this is the maximum height. Okay. Then the pressure diagram is like this, like a right angle triangle, and the magnitude at the bottom is depends upon the density of the earth and height of the backfill. Now this is the height of the backfill. So this is nothing but the pressure at the base. Okay, here what's the height from the height of the earth from the top here, that is equal to 0. Therefore, here gamma into h, gamma into 0 equal to 0. Therefore, here the pressure is equal to 0. Therefore, here there is no need for providing some thickness in the top, even though for the construction purpose and for the inspection purpose, we are giving the minimum thickness in the top. And according to the pressure, whatever it may be coming to the bottom, we have to give the maximum thickness as per the design. Okay, as in the case of retaining wall, in the cantilever retaining wall, so this portion is nothing but stem portion, but it is stem portion, and this is nothing but toe slab, and this is nothing but toe slab, and this is nothing but heel slab. This is nothing but heel slab. So in general, a cantilever retaining wall is having two type of structural elements. One is vertical slab and another is horizontal slab. And the horizontal slab will be another divided into two type. One is toe slab and another is heel slab. The vertical portion is nothing but stem. Okay. Now, coming to the how the pressure is acting here, that is very important. Where we have to provide the steel reinforcement in general, in your third semester itself or otherwise fourth semester, we have studied about why the reinforcement is necessary for the concrete slab. All of you know very well about that. The concrete is weak in tension and but strong in compression. Where the tensile stress is there in concrete, there we have to provide the tension reinforcement. That is important. So students, you must know where the tensile stresses are acting at a particular structure. That is very important. So you have already know about that is if it is a simply supported beam. Now here one support is there, and here the simply, now this is the beam, and suppose if you are going to superimpose load, some superimposed loads are acting, the bending moment will be like this. The bending moment, the bending moment diagram will be like this. The maximum bending moment will be at the center, and the bending moment at the two ends will be equal to 0. And where the compressive force is acting and where the tensile force is acting, just you have to know about that. Now this is the bending profile of the beam, and now this is the neutral axis. Neutral axis means there is no stresses in that particular place, and over and above that, the concrete portion is getting some contraction, and below the neutral axis, the portion will get some elongated. What it means? If it gets some elongation, means the portion will be subjected to tension. Suppose the portion will be subjected to contracted or compressed, means the portion will be subjected to compression. This is very, very important for students, where we have to provide the tensile reinforcement. So all of you, that is the universal trust is nothing but their concrete is weak in tension and strong in compression. Now this is the compressive force acting area, compressive area. There is no need for giving reinforcement in this particular area. Okay, and the bottom portion will be getting some tensile force, acting with tensile force. So concrete is weak in tension, therefore we have to provide the tensile reinforcement like this in the bottom of the tensile force. So you see, the stress diagram is like this. So now this is the compressive stress, This is the maximum compressive stress, and this is sigma FCK, and this is Fy by AST, sigma AST, like that. Okay, here the stress is 0, here the maximum compressive stress, here the minimum maximum tensile stress. At that place only we have to provide what it is, tension reinforcement. Here the earth is here in this straight portion is subjected to earth pressure. Therefore, this portion will be bent like this. Am I right? Bent like this. Therefore, now this is your center line of your portion, and therefore this portion will get elongated and this will get contracted. Therefore, we have to provide the tension reinforcement in this area, that is nothing but as I have already provided in this sketch. Okay, and here now the earth is here, and therefore this portion will be bent like this, and the top portion is usually subjected to tensile force and the bottom portion will be subjected to compressive force. Therefore, we have to provide the tension reinforcement in the top. And in case of this total structure will be tilt like this. Therefore, this portion will be bent like this in the upward direction. Therefore, so in the top portion will be get tensioned, and bottom portion will be get compression. Therefore, we have to provide the tension reinforcement in the bottom area. Here the bottom area, here the top area, like this. Okay, so this is the cantilever retaining wall, and I have already given you the example for the simply supported beam and stress diagram as well as the bending diagram, where the tension will become, where you have to provide the tension reinforcement like that. Now this is your what it is cantilever retaining wall. So different types of cantilever retaining walls are there, nothing but L-shaped cantilever and straight stem cantilever is also there. In general cross section is nothing but like this. Usually you must give the vertical side one side and the batter side or slope side other side. The vertical side will be subjected to or retain the earth. This is the retaining walls, that is cantilever retaining wall. Another one is nothing but counterfort retaining wall. What means counterfort retaining walls? So suppose when the backfill of the greater height to be retained and the required height of the cantilever retaining wall exceeds 6 meters. Okay. Now the maximum for if you are going for providing the cantilever retaining wall, the maximum height should be equal to 6 meters. If the height of the wall is more than 6 meters, then we can go for using the counterfort retaining. What is meant by counterfort retaining wall? So at the frequent interval, usually 3 meters, we have to provide some another support, that is the vertical support opposite side of the, or that is the inner side of the what it is, your backfill, earth space. Okay, like your wall is like this. In most of the wall, that is buttress counterfort retaining wall, the stem will be in the vertical section like this, and this is your backfill. The earth is here. Now this is the free base. Okay, this height is more than 6 meters. Height H is, that is more than 6 meters. Then we are going for counterfort retaining wall at pretty that is the nothing but some interval, some frequent interval, we are providing some walls like this. So here the plan is like this. now this is the stem portion, and this is the complete heel portion, and intermittently, usually at a distance of 3 meters, we are providing a sloping wall like this. Now this wall is nothing but this wall. Okay, right. So this is one vertical wall, and this is the complete base slab, and in between the base slab as well as your vertical stem, we are providing some rectangular walls. If the wall is more than 6 meter, then it is nothing but this wall is nothing but buttress wall. This wall is nothing but buttress wall. Sorry, counterport wall. Okay, counterport wall. Counterport wall. Then this type of retaining wall is known as counterport retaining walls. So another one type of retaining wall is there. That is nothing but your buttress retaining wall. So that is similar like that counterfort wall. The buttress retaining wall is similar to the counterfort retaining walls, but with the difference in that is buttress retaining wall, the counterforts called as buttresses. That is the counterfort is nothing but buttresses are provided on the opposite side of the backfill. Suppose now this is your backfill, nothing but earth or loose material. If you are going to provide this counterport wall in the opposite side, this side, okay. Suppose you are going to provide the counterport wall or additional support wall in the opposite side of the backfill, then it is known as buttress retaining wall like that. So the buttresses tie the stem and the toe slab. Now this is your toe slab, this is your keel slab. In case of counterfort wall, the wall is tied with the stem as well as the heel slab. Here in case of your buttress wall, the wall is tied with the stem. Now this is your stem and this is your toe slab. If it is connected between the toe slab as well as the stem slab, then it is known as buttress wall. Okay. And now the important thing is nothing but next one is the earth pressure on retaining walls. How much pressure and what are the forces acting on a retaining wall like that? Okay. And you see, now the retaining wall, a wall which is retained the earth is nothing but retaining wall. So in case of a wall which is retained the water is nothing but dam. Okay, in the reservoir side or you know very well about that, that is the dam is used for purpose of storing the water during the rainy season, and it will be transported and issued to the crops or otherwise for the purpose of trimming during the winter season or otherwise your summer season like that. That is nothing but dam section like that. And so what is the maximum pressure acting on the wall? Just I have already given some tips to you about the what is the pressure acting on the wall. Okay, now this is your wall, okay, and this is your wall like this. Now it is supported by some earth here, and the pressure diagram will be equal to like this. Here the pressure is 0 because the height equal to 0, therefore the pressure in the top equal to 0, and the pressure at the bottom equal to K, that is gamma into H in case of water, gamma of water into height of water. Here we are dealing about the retaining walls, therefore gamma of earth Nothing but here earth is retained. Okay. Therefore, here the pressure equal to gamma of earth into height. When we are dealing with the earth, some frictional force is there. Frictional force is there. Because of the friction, suppose there is no friction at all in the earth, means the complete forces will be acting on the face of the wall. So here the internal friction is there. Therefore, some part of the form, that is your pressure, will be lost or lost. Therefore, to find out the maximum pressure at a particular height, we are multiplying this gamma E into height by means of a coefficient of earth pressure, coefficient of active earth pressure. Now this is the maximum pressure due to the earth retained by a retaining wall. Okay, that is nothing but K into gamma into H. K into Ka equal to coefficient of earth pressure, coefficient of earth pressure, and gamma equal to density or specific weight of earth retained. H equal to height of wall from top. Height of the wall from top, where the pressure is required, where the pressure is required. Generally, the pressure will be depends upon the height of the wall and height of the earth retained. Okay, and so gamma E equal to specific weight of the earth retained, K equal to coefficient of earth. I already told you why we are adding a coefficient of earth pressure. Here the retained material is earth. The earth is having some frictional force. Because of the frictional force, some pressure will be lost. Therefore, we are adding some coefficient. This coefficient is having two type of coefficient: active earth pressure coefficient and passive earth pressure coefficient. What is meant by active earth pressure? And suppose here the wall is there. Okay, now the earth is retained here. Definitely you can able to know, because of the earth, the pressure will be acting like this. The pressure will be acting like this. Because of the earth pressure, the wall will turns outwards. Okay, towards outwards. So this is nothing but active earth pressure. This is a general case. Because of the earth and because of the earth pressure, the wall will tends outwards. Then it is known as earth pressure. Or otherwise, we can say that because of the pressure, the wall is moving outwards. Then the pressure accepted is nothing but active earth pressure. What is meant by passive earth pressure? Passive earth pressure is nothing but, so whatever it may be, this pressure is more than that of this earth pressure. What will happen? Here some pressure is there, some earth is there, or water is there, or some atmospheric pressure is there, whatever it may be. Okay. So because of this pressure, the wall will tends towards the inner side, opposite side. Okay. So this is nothing but the passive earth pressure. Okay. The net pressure, because of the net pressure, the wall will move towards the inner side of the, or towards the earth side of the wall. That is nothing but passive earth pressure. How to find out the coefficient of earth pressure? Coefficient of active earth pressure Ka equal to some formula is there. 1 minus sine pi divided by 1 plus sine pi. This is nothing but coefficient of earth pressure. So I am not going to much about this coefficient of earth pressure Ka, because this formula has been derived from the Rankins coefficient, Rankins formula. Okay, what is meant by pi? Pi is nothing but angle of repose of the soil. What is meant by angle of repose of the soil? Okay, because of the internal friction of the each and every soil particles, suppose we are pouring a soil in a particular place, this soil particle will makes automatically an angle. Okay, this angle is nothing but angle of repose of the soil. Okay, so once we are putting some soil here in the ground, the shape is like this. So suppose if you are going to more increase the height, then also the base also will increase and the angle is will be same. Okay, this angle is nothing but angle of repose of the soil. Okay, simply we can say the angle made by the soil particles due to their internal friction is nothing but coefficient of active earth pressure. And what is passive earth pressure? We have already told about the passive earth pressure. The passive earth pressure is the negative earth pressure or otherwise active earth pressure, and it will compress the earth, retained earth. And this is nothing but, that is the opposite direction pressure is nothing but passive earth pressure. Now the coefficient of passive earth pressure Kp can be find out the formula, what is nothing by 1 plus sin pi divided by 1 minus sin pi. So simply you can put the sign in the reverse direction. So now this is the coefficient of active earth pressure and coefficient of passive earth pressure. Next one term is there. What is meant by surcharge? What is meant by surcharge of the soil? So now this is the fact will, that is because earth or loose material is there, some particular wall is retained by some earth. Suppose the level of the backfill is more than that of the top level of the retaining wall. Now this is nothing but surcharge. The weight above the top level of the wall is nothing but surcharge. Okay, right. And now the sometimes that is maybe the surcharge may be inclined or the surcharge may be like that, you are like this, inclined or horizontal like this. Okay, now this is angle of surcharge. Alpha is nothing but angle of surcharge. Now one more term I am going to give to you about the, so what are the forces acting on a retaining wall, that is cantilever retaining wall. Now this is the vertical cantilever retaining wall. Okay, now this is your stem of the wall, and this is the earth is here filled. Okay, and this is the surcharge, and okay, now this is the earth is filled up to the top level of the retaining wall. So the important thing you must know all about this, what are the forces acting on this retaining wall. Okay, now the first one is nothing but W1, weight of the earth. Now this, okay, the weight of the earth which is acting on the heel slab, which is acting on the heel slab. Okay, now this is W1. So there are two type of forces are there. One is downward force, another one is horizontal force. Two type of forces are. Now we are seeing about the vertical forces. Now this is the weight of the earth retained above the heel slab is nothing but W1. Okay, and W2 is the weight of the stem slab. Now this is your stem slab. Now this is the self weight of the stem slab per meter length. So all the weights we have to consider for 1 meter length. Even though the wall is going for a long distance of 5 meter or 6 meter or 7 meter, whatever it may go up to a kilometer like that. So, but for the calculation purpose and for the design purpose, we have to consider always 1 meter. Now this is a W1, this is a W2. Now we are seeing about the downward force acting on the cantilever slab. And sometimes the ground level is here. Okay. Now this is the ground level. Then some part of the earth's weight is acting on the toe slab. Now this is nothing but W4. Okay, and W3 is nothing but weight of the base slab. The base slab comprises of heel slab, toe slab, and some stump portion. Okay. Now the total weight of the base slab is nothing but W3. So the total downward force acting on a retaining wall, cantilever retaining wall, is nothing but W equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3 plus W4. Nothing but weight of the earth acting on the heel slab plus weight of the stem slab plus weight of the bottom slab and weight of the earth acting on the toe slab. So these are and only one horizontal force is acting. Now this is P equal to, okay, you know the value of P equal to Ka into gamma into H. Now this is the height of the wall. Okay, so these are the main, and this the earth retained on the toe slab is acting towards the opposite direction. May be taken as, suppose if you are taking P1 and this may be taken as P2. Now this is, if it is negative and this is positive, if you are taking this as positive, because it will act on the negative direction, so you have to take this as, so these are the, now total pressure equal to P1 minus P2, okay, P1 minus P2 equal, like that, or otherwise the net pressure will be find out by using or otherwise taking moment at a particular point. Then only you can able to find out the net pressure as well as the point of application of the horizontal pressure, as well as when you are going to take the moment for all the downward forces in a particular direction or particular point, you can able to get the total force as well as the point of action of that resultant downward force. That is, so these are generally the total force acting on the retaining wall. So my dear students, the retaining wall, then we are going to design a retaining wall. So these are the basic things. What is meant by a retaining wall? What are the forces acting on a retaining wall? What are the different types of retaining walls? Like what is the need for retaining wall? Like that we have discussed something. Then the next part of the retaining wall is nothing but we have to design the retaining wall. So design the retaining wall is nothing but you have to find out the dimension and as well as the steel reinforcement for the each and every element, nothing but your stem slab, heel slab, toe slab, like that. Sometimes, and what are the stability factors you have to, suppose the particular that is your retaining wall will be stable, and what are the conditions prevails safety against a retaining wall, then that can be seen in the next classes itself. Okay, I can say something and you may understand something about the basics things, whatever it may be, how in your retaining wall subject. So have a good day to all of you and may God bless you, my dear.